So in this little mini lecture, we're going to approach the subject of stopping or bringing into the conscious mind subconscious patterns that we're kind of just thrown into. Okay. So, and we're going to give a resolution on how to stop unconscious patterns and bring them into the light. And the benefit is great. It will uplift both the one who's receiving any form of manipulation and the manipulators might recognize themselves too. I'm going to put on my headset. We're calling in ceremonial spades. So place yourself in a golden sphere of light. And as we call in upon our guides, teachers, angels, masters, ascended masters, any and all of the highest and greatest love and light. We're calling in the directions, energy of the east. Please come be with us with Archangel Raphael, Raphael, Raphael. Energy of the south, come be with us with Archangel Michael, 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 who brings in this cobalt blue flame that can cleanse and clear and release these patterns together with the violet flame. And now calling in the energy of the west, we call upon Archangel Gabriel, 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 come be with us. Here we're bringing the watery knowledge of deep subconscious wisdom. And then we call in the energy of the north with Archangel Uriel, 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 come be with us. Thank you. Here we call in the element of earth. And from the heart of the grand central sun to the center of the vortex of our galaxy, through the planets of our little galaxy here, and through the sun and the moon, we receive the codes, the numbers, the frequencies, the resolutions through Archangel Metatron, 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 and we will align ourselves with our highest possible blueprint here. And then we ground ourselves in to the center of Earth, of Gaia Sophia. And as we anchor through our Earth Star chakra, we'll receive energy, we'll ground ourselves into our bodies, and we will start to make the unconscious pattern conscious. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And I'll say Reiki on. And as we have placed ourselves in a beautiful golden sphere of light, we're sealing in this aura. Now take a deep inhale and imagine that all the energy from around your body, inhale it, exhale it into your mind. Inhale all the energy from your mind. Exhale it into your belly center. Inhale all the energy from your belly center and exhale it into your heart. One more deep breath. Breathe with me. Inhale all the energy from your heart and exhale it to spread your energy evenly and thoroughly on you, through you, about you. Now, and in this lecture, we are allowing for ourselves to learn about taking a conscious pause. Am I being conscious in my decisions? If somebody or something that you're watching on TV or something that's happening in the space around you, or you see somebody that maybe has a rough time, are you responding or reacting from your authentic, true self? Or are you falling into some form of a storyline. We're going into our heart mind, and we're going to take a quote from Carl Jung. And he said, "Who looks outside of themselves for answers to questions to support, they are dreaming. But for those who look inside of their heart space, they are awakening." So therefore, we are always learning. We're always being students of life through our bodies and our experiences, but we're also teachers, and we are our own teachers and teachers. So today we're learning to become very centered in all situations where we're learning about a conscious pause. Feel yourself pausing. Take a deep breath in and exhale it out. When we are able to take a conscious pause, then we are waking up to our authentic inner truth. And if we're in a situation where you're constantly being uprooted from this conscious truth, then maybe you are around manipulators, or situations are manipulating your center. Once we start to recognize that we're being uprooted by some situation or some person, then we are in that space where we're dreaming. We're not fully connected to our own authentic self. And this work of learning to recognize, when am I in my truth and feeling grounded, as opposed to what patterns pulls me out of that grounded state. That work is called shadow work. Okay. The shadow work is the process of becoming strong through understanding the darker aspects that are all around us that aren't for our highest grade. Remember, when we become aware of situations and we can remember to take our conscious pauses, then we can practice discriminative discernment. And once we become enlightened by igniting this light within us, then we make the unconscious conscious. And once we reach a certain point, we become very stable in this work. So today, we're going to have 5 questions or situations and 5 answers where we will learn how that this consciousness creates a field around us of authenticity. And this field is very magnetic, and it's wonderful to be within it. Okay, so every manipulator, every situation that wants you to kind of fall out of balance, they are trying to control you in some way, shape, or form. They're actually showing us where we need to create psychological boundaries. Every lie that they tell you creates a better truth detection. And every game that they play teaches us how to recognize the next one faster. It's like we know what's going to come and we're able to catch it. The people who are trying to manipulate you, including groups, are unconsciously serving you in your growth. So just being aware of that takes us out of that victimhood. And they teach us how to instantly tell the truth from a deception. We will instantly learn how authentic connection feels good as opposed to manipulation. We can know, and how genuine care feels as opposed to manipulated control. So when we learn this, we become very dangerous to manipulators because we can call them out on it. All right. And it is not that we call them out on it, we call ourselves on it, and then we have ways of how to stabilize and neutralize and connect into our wisdom that will sometimes make people that are manipulators, conscious manipulator or unconscious manipulators, they will start to awaken themselves, and you could see certain patterns that we're going to talk about. Okay, so there are 5 questions here that we're going to go into. And these 5 questions will teach us about freedom. And Carl Jung says that freedom is not the absence of a challenge, but freedom is the consciousness in the presence of a challenge. So we become aware in a challenging situation. Okay, seeing eyes can recognize these 5 questions. There's one that's called the sensitivity attack. The second one is called the trust demand. These are all Jungian terms. And then the accusation reversal. Number 4, the innocence performance. And number 5, the fraud forgetting. So to accept ourselves is the freedom, is self-love. So even if we done this and all that, and we've been the manipulator and we done wrong things, so on and so forth, if we recognize that, nobody can kind of hook you into that. So we're very proud of being perfectly imperfect. Okay. The first one is let's see. Okay. Okay. If something has happened and I say, you are too sensitive. Oh, you're so sensitive. Why are you so sensitive? What is the matter with you? You're so sensitive. Oh, you get upset with everything. Okay, that's the first one. I'm sure some of us, who most of us are very sensitive because that's our superpower. This is called shadow projection on us. Our self-awareness, it's turned towards our mind. Because when we are self-aware, we feel it with our heart and we're very sensitive. So this attack, the manipulation of this, is called a sensitivity attack. What happens with this is that It is a psychological invalidation, right? They're attacking a very right to have a feeling about a situation. And then they say that our sensitivity is bothersome and it's annoying. And oh, why are you so sensitive? But this sensitivity is not a weakness. The sensitivity is our unconscious mind detecting something that is not right. Okay, so we're feeling, this doesn't feel right. And then all of a sudden it's our fault for something. Okay, so our vision becomes clear when we look inside of our heart. Okay, and into the heart mind. Manipulators, they can sense lies and tension. That's their expertise. They're just these people that are just know when we get like, oh yeah, maybe I wasn't that great that time. And oh, maybe I told a lie once upon a time, and you feel bad about that. Manipulators, they go right into that and they want that reaction. Then they have learned to weaponize our spiritual gift of being sensitive and they turn it around us. Okay. So there are experts at detecting things that maybe we don't want to have exposed. So the conscious assertion of this shadow integration is when they say, why are you being so sensitive? Number one, don't defend yourself. Don't explain yourself. Don't apologize. Look the person in the eye and calmly say, I am not being sensitive. I am being perceptive. I am not being sensitive. I'm being perceptive. Does that make you feel uncomfortable? So this is one way of coming out of it. And then you are uh, turning the table back to them. Then they are going to respond back. Either they're going to be angry and try to overpower you, or they're going to deflect into a different topic, or they're becoming overly nice. This is called damage control. Okay. And so this is the first situation. Become aware of this. Have you experienced that? Right? Yes, we have. So when that situation comes up, then we say, I'm being perceptive. Does that make you feel uncomfortable? And now we have our center back. Okay. The second situation is called the trust demand. That is when we go further, they're going to say, do you trust me? Do you trust me? You trust me, right? That's from the manipulator. Then we must remember that genuine trust operates in the unconscious mind. So naturally, we trust people. Naturally, we want to see the good in others, unless you are, the other type. Okay, while demanded trust operates in the ego, do you trust me? How come that you don't trust me? You trust me, right? When they want to create a pact with you. People who demand trust are usually the least people that are trustworthy. Okay. So, for example, if there is something that is wrong and you sense it and you call it out, they want to create a pact with you, right? And manipulators, they don't want transformation. They don't want resolution. They prefer control and domination. So when they say, you trust me, right? They're saying this is a psychological ultimatum, and it is disguised as an intimate connection with somebody. This is called the loyalty conflict complex. So the conscious mind wants to be a good person who trusts others, but our unconscious mind is screaming, warning, it's not right, it's not right. But we're still trying. Are you sure? You want to trust that person, you want to not be manipulated. So this creates internal war. And that's what the manipulator wants. Because when we are in conflict, all of a sudden, we're not in our power. Okay. So I can just think about this like with commercials and stuff on TV where constantly, that doesn't sound right, but in the stuff, in gut, you feel it. So it can be on a bigger aspect too. So trustworthy people demonstrate trust through words, actions, and energy alignment. There's like a consistent psychological congruence in trusting people that want the best for you. You don't have to prove yourself, right? The people that want the proof, those are the manipulators. But all of this stuff pulls on these ancient memories that lay deep inside of us, where we're feeling a little bit attacked in somehow. Okay. And so we're going to move on to the response for this is that we learn to apply something that's called conscious detachment. So we pause and we breathe, and you can claim or explain that trust is earned through time and consistency, not through questions, right? Trust is earned through consistency and time and stability and centeredness. A trustworthy person will respect boundaries and continue to just, live their life. Manipulators, they become defensive, they change the subject, or they try to make you feel guilty to have certain standards. Okay. Number 3, now it gets worse and worse and worse. Okay, then it's going to be the accusation reversal. Are you accusing me of something? Master manipulators, they want to reshape the reality itself. And if you've been in a situation like this, you're thinking, what the hell? Where am I? What am I what happened? So everything is being reversed, and they flip the script, and suddenly you are the problem. Okay, just becoming aware of a situation like this. Everything that is unconscious within ourselves, we discover in the neighbor. So if you are annoyed by somebody or you see something and you get like, oh, what's happening over there? Then that's a little bit of a mirror in our own self. This is a positive thing that we notice this pattern. However, uh, the responding to a person that is trying to put this guilt complex on you is that we have a composed confidence. We apply the therapeutic pause. So people that are manipulators that want instant reaction and that we lose ourselves. So we apply the therapeutic pause. We hold eye contact and we count 2 to 3 seconds to take a breath. Do it with me. Inhale, exhale. And as we go over this, we're actually clearing patterns that might have happened. Maybe it was like in kindergarten or high school or something that we had to deal with these people, or they're actually grown-ups that are acting like this. So we compose ourselves, we take a deep breath, and we can calmly respond. For example, should I be? Are you accusing me of something? Then you can say, should I be? And this is called conscious power. The composed response forces them to face their own shadows instead of hiding behind yours. We all have shadows. Okay, it's just about holding space. Okay, number 4. Would I ever lie to you? Anybody heard that? Okay, this is psychological poison. The question is a lie itself because the intention that lies underneath and behind the question itself is a manipulation. The question is not seeking an answer, but it creates an emotional emptiness or depth because the manipulator makes us feel guilty for doubting somebody. Okay, would I ever lie to you? Okay, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who we truly are. Manipulators are trying to make us feel like a horrible person for being observant, for being cautious, for being intuitive, and for being ourselves. So manipulators are revealing their own psychological state, unconscious confession through overcompensation of performance of innocence. Would I ever lie to you? Honest people do not perform. It simply exists. Honest people do not need to convince anybody else, but their action perform unconscious trust. You feel safe around trustful people. The respond is to apply something that's called conscious questioning. Pause, and then we should respond. That is not the right question. The question would be, would I know if you did lie to me? Okay. Until we make our unconscious conscious, it will direct our life, and those unconscious patterns that we haven't kind of looked at brings these type of situations into the foreground. So by us going through these questions and answers that seem kind of simple, we're actually learning to release any old situations or memories about this. The last one is, can we just move on? Okay, so now it's like, okay, can we just move on and forget about it and put it in back seat? We don't have to deal with it. And then as a person that is working on our spiritual awareness and awakening, it doesn't feel right to just erase it and put it. Maybe you do it like a few times, but after that, it starts to feel like you're actually starting to leak your energy through your aura because you start to not follow yourself and you start to leak your life force out. Okay, so this is called force forgetting demand. Here, we're abandoning the truth for the illusion of peace. So there is no coming to consciousness without facing our shadows. And that can be a little painful. And we know that. Anybody who's on the spiritual path, we know that coming to consciousness costs a little pain. The real resolution requires ourselves to face an uncomfortable situation. Manipulators want to stop the pain and jump directly into our forgiveness. However, in psychological healing, moving on without understanding will not resolve the pattern. And then the poison will continue to spread, right? So the future for them demands for amnesia, not for healing. So the manipulators wants to erase it, not resolve it. This is called, according to Jung, a psychological burial. The healing happens when the unconscious becomes conscious. Manipulators want to push it back, deny the problem, minimize it. They want to blame you, and they want you to be so exhausted that you kind of like, okay, whatever. And we know that even with toddlers or kids, they were la, 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 la. Like, okay, fine, take the cookie, you know. And it may start that early. And it's not that they're doing it on purpose, but these are patterns that are just very ancient within the human species. So, what do we respond with? We anchor ourselves. This is called conscious anchoring. We'll take a breath and we respond. I will make a move when I understand what has happened, not before. So, this tells that we want peace inside ourselves, and that comes with clarity, not confusion. And we don't want to rush these things. We want to really sit with it, go inside of our heart, and not feel pressured or exhausted or pushed. We want to take our time and really anchor our consciousness into these situations. Then we can actually resolve it within ourselves. Okay? So these are the 5 examples that Jung was teaching us. And it was soul versus shadow. We're learning to choose consciousness, choose clarity, choose psychological freedom, walk awake, aware, and unshakably ourselves, no matter how long it takes. The shadow's greatest fear is the light. Turn on the light. Never let anyone else convince you to doubt yourself or dim your light again. Okay? Jung called this individuation, which is the ability to observe without being consumed, right? To allow for the process of becoming psychological whole. And when we start to learn to respond from this authentic self, to gain genuine connection with others, we gain this ultimate victory over any manipulation, even if the manipulation is coming from an inner dialogue. This starts to heal your field around you and creates a wonderful, stable container of authenticity that elevates everyone. So remember that you are awake when we can remain calm and conscious. We are conscious when we can stay clear without getting confused, no matter how long it takes. And remember that we're free when we can hold our steadiness in who we are. And when we learn to remember to slow down. So when we do these actions, we're lifting the frequency up within our field, and we're showing by example how to hold the light of who we are. And this is what I felt is coming towards us. Can you hold steady? I'm seeing the rudder of a boat. I'm seeing the wind in the you know what that's called on the boat?
Sail.
Sail, thank you. And we are just sailing through it with no problem whatsoever. Okay, so feel yourself steady. Take a breath. Know that you are aware. Breathe into your personal awareness, your psychological strength and sensitivity, and be proud of feeling everything and being sensitive. You are awake. Remain calm. You are conscious because you know what works for you, no matter how long it takes. Take your time and let everybody wait for your answer. Don't jump to conclusions. Stay in your power, and you are free when you can hold steady, even though someone is trying to shake your reality. In a world full of shadows, the awakened ones are the light bringers. You are a light bringer. Okay? Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And just know when you respond with this authentic, calm awareness, you are giving opportunity, even for those who might seem like the manipulators, you're giving an opportunity for them to also see their truth. Okay? So it's a win, win, win. And eventually, if you get into this manipulation situation, there, you're just training your superpowers. So bring it on, baby. All right, I'm going to pause end the recording here. And I hope this was beneficial for you.
That was great.
Okay.
Can you post